Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Thank you for joining in on this next episode of Fun with Flags. And I'm your host, Sheldon Cooper. This is not Fun with Flags. This is not Sheldon Cooper. This is Cooking with Facebook Jason. You ready? Let's get started on dinner tonight. And you ask, well, Facebook Jason, what is for dinner? Well, tonight, everybody, dinner is going to be shepherd's pie. Now, I'm not going to make it the traditional way. Traditional, in my opinion, I could be wrong, could be 100% wrong. I've known to be wrong on occasions. Not too many, but on some occasions I have been wrong. Traditionally, I would think shepherd's pie is made with sheep because you shepherd sheep. You shepherd lambs. You don't shepherd cows. I don't know what you do with cows. Maybe you herd them, but herder's pie doesn't sound too great. Maybe you wrangle cows, wrangler pie. I don't know. We're going to call it shepherd's pie. We're going to go with it. And again, remember, the way that I cook is not by exact measurements, but I'll give you estimates on what I've got in there. So hopefully that's good enough. And if not, my bad. We'll figure it out together. Join me. Let's make some dinner. As always, we need to start off by sharpening our knives. Why? Because sharp knives are better than dull knives. And with a sharp knife, when you cut yourself, if you cut yourself, you won't really feel it, but it'll be a nice clean cut. If it's dull, it's gonna hurt when you cut yourself, and you'll know it, trust me, because so get your knives all sharpened up, and let's make dinner.
So yes, you've been in the commercial kitchen 16 years of his life. I'm sure you know how much that hurts.
In our bowl here, as you just saw the high-speed montage of what we have in here, we have about a medium onion diced up, and then about a half a cup of celery, and then we have about a third of a cup of just the sweet little bell peppers for color. We have our pot now that's on medium-high heat. Gonna add a little bit of oil to the bottom. How much? I don't know. 2 tablespoons. Sounds about right. If you need more, add more. If you don't think you need that much, don't add that much. I would not go less than 2 tablespoons of the oil, just so we can make sure we get the bottom all nice and covered. You have to use a wooden spoon for this. I don't know why, but it makes the recipe that much better. If you do not have a wooden spoon, go buy you one. Go buy a whole set. They're well worth the money. They're not that expensive. Go get you some and cook with them every day. They're going to be the best. So to this hot skillet or hot pan, we're going to add our mirepoix, onions, carrots, celery, and peppers. Yeah, I use my hands. Only because this is a home kitchen, not a commercial kitchen. So we're going to get that going, get those onions kind of sweated down. We don't want them to the point where they're translucent yet. We just want to get a little bit out of them, get the juices from the vegetables and everything, get those out into the bottom of the pan to create our stock, which we're then going to season and cook our meat with, cook our meat and everything in there to make our shepherd's pie. So while the onions, peppers, celery, carrots, while they're all doing their thing over there in the pot, I'm going to go over here, chop up a little bit more vegetables. We're going to do some mushrooms and spinach to add to this. The good thing is you can add almost any vegetable that you like. I tend to do a pretty vegetable heavy shepherd's pie. only because I love me some good veggies. So if you like the veggies, add more veggies. If you don't like veggies, you don't have to add as many. But ultimately, this is going to be your recipe. This is going to be what you want to make it. So it's about a cup of mushrooms and then maybe 2 cups of uncooked spinach, which we know if you've ever cooked with spinach before, you know that it kind of, the more that it cooks, the longer it goes down to pretty much nothing. And we've got our mushrooms there. Gonna drop in the spinach. So as you can see, we're just getting a little bit of char on some of these veggies. That's about as much as we want to do. Add our mushrooms and spinach. Get those all in there. Stir it around. We're going to turn the heat down to low for right now so we don't overcook everything while we get our water in there. So we got that a good mix. Now to this, we're going to add about 2.5 cups of water. We've got our water in there. Stir that up. We're just going to kind of let it sit on a low heat for right now until we get our meat ready. If you've ever worked in the commercial kitchen in a restaurant, you'll notice that cutting boards are all supposed to be color coded. Green is obviously for vegetables, red is for red meat, yellow is for chicken, blue is for fish. So that's why I did change cutting boards on there. I also changed knives to a big old meat cleaver just to prevent any kind of cross-contamination. Granted, yes, this is my own house, but at the same time, still want to make sure that I'm doing things properly. The meat that I have here is a thinly sliced eye of round steak. It tends to be a pretty tough steak if you want to cook it just regular. It is not something that you would take it home and throw it on the grill and cook it medium rare, because it's a relatively tough steak. So it does need to be cooked basically low and slow, either in a stew or you're gonna braise it. And what I'm doing is I'm just gonna cut it into bite-sized chunks. So as you can see, pieces here, they're not overly big. Add all of our meat into our bowl. To our bowl with some meat, gonna add a little bit of salt, add a little bit of pepper. Stir that around. Yes, I use my hands an awful lot, but that's okay. It all works out in the end. And now we're back to our pot with all the vegetables in there. We add our meat. You know what? We added 2.5 cups of water. I'm gonna add another cup because I know it's gonna absorb a lot of this water. So it'll be 3.5 cups of water total. About 1.5 packets brown gravy mix. A little bit more pepper. Everything looks good, but you know what? We're gonna add a couple little more things. Dash of chili powder, just a little dash of ground cumin. Get it all stirred up. Then we're gonna cover it and let it do its thing. So right now it's been cooking for about 2 hours. Let's take the lid off, stir it up a little bit. I did add a little bit of corn niblets as well as some black-eyed peas. Love me some black-eyed peas. They both add some good earthiness and heartiness. I turned the burner off, so it's still gonna remain hot for a little bit of time. I'm gonna cover it back up and just let it sit and just continue to marinate in its own juices, marinate in its own flavor. Right before I'm getting ready to go ahead and put the shepherd's pie together, adding mashed potatoes and everything else on top of that, I'm going to turn the heat back on, ladle it out, add the mashed potatoes, probably some shredded cheese on top, bake it off for a little bit, and it'll be ready to go.
A little later.
To get our potatoes chopped up for our topping for our shepherd's pie. So we have probably 6 potatoes or so, about yay big, nothing real fancy, no real big potatoes, just regular white potatoes. Let's get them chopped up. And there we go. We've got all of our potatoes chopped up. Now it's time to get them in some boiling water and make some mashed potatoes. To mix our potatoes, we had our boiled and rinsed potatoes. About that much butter. Did I measure? No, just a wild guess. We'll add a little bit more. Can't really go wrong with butter. And then we'll add a little Mexican style crema on top just so we can get some. We'll have an international shepherd's pie tonight. And a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. The good thing is with good quality food, you don't need a lot of extras to add on to it. A little salt, a little pepper, that's all you really need. Oh yeah, and some butter probably. With that in there, we get our handy dandy mixer and we mix it all up till it's nice and smooth. And now we come to the time where we're putting everything together. Now there's a couple different ways that you can do this. You can use pie pans, you can use cake pans, you can use like a 9-inch pie pan, you can use a 9x13 cake pan, you can use little itty bitty bunt pans or anything like that. Today I'm going to be using these little boats. If you know my mother, then you know she is the queen of thrift store shopping. She picked these up. We've got 6 of them. I think she picked them up for about $1, maybe $2. She's pretty thrifty when it comes to things like that. She's not going to spend a whole lot of money. But she bought them, didn't know what to use them for, so she said, here, can you use them? I said, sure, I can find something. So now what we're going to do is we're going to build our shepherd's pie into these. Add our mashed potatoes on top. You don't have to worry about covering every single thing, but you do need to be careful of how you fill them because you don't want to overfill everything. It's kind of like in the fancy restaurants, they'll do this and they'll pipe on the mashed potatoes. I can do that, but I'm not being fancy tonight. I'm being real. And you can layer as much or as little mashed potatoes on top as you'd like. If you've got family members or kids that aren't real big on mashed potatoes, make one specially for them that doesn't have a lot of mashed potatoes on it. If you like somebody that's got a lot of the mashed potatoes, they love it. They can't get enough of it. They want to take a bath in it. Just keep adding to theirs. All these can be individually done. I don't want to put too much in that one because it's going to overflow. Look at that, just enough mashed potatoes, got them all done. We'll take some cheese. You can use shredded cheese. You can use block cheese. You can use anything that you like, any kind of cheese that you want. I'm just using some sliced cheese that we had in the water cooler, or not the water cooler, in the refrigerator. You're gonna take these, you're gonna put them in the oven at 425 for about 15-20 minutes. So at this particular time, I'm gonna go ahead and do the whole thing. The like, subscribe, if you wanna continue to see more videos of what Facebook Jason makes for dinner. I've got some ideas of what I'm going to do. Got some breakfast ideas, some lunch ideas, some Sunday ideas. It could be Sunday dinner ideas. It could be Tuesday afternoon. You never know. Any comments that you have on there when you try these recipes, let me know. If you don't try them, let me know why you wouldn't try them. Let me know what you would add to them to take away from them. Anything like that, just like I said, let me know and let's continue to keep making these because they're fun for me. Hopefully they're fun for you to watch. I'm trying to make them a little bit more entertaining and definitely a lot more edible. Eatable? Edible? Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. Looking good. All right, y'all, time to eat.
That was really good.
So at the end of the day, dinner was a hit. All except for the youngest one, but I just don't think he was feeling that well. Mama, what'd you think of it?
I thought it was really, really good. I was like, I'm only going to eat half because it looks like a lot. I inhaled the whole thing.
And the great thing about those little dishes is they're really, really good for portion control. So if you're looking to watch how much you eat, get dishes like that. They're pretty good about keeping the portion control size. Because if you're walking around with like 2 of those, then yeah, that's a lot. But 1 is good. 1 is comfortable.
1 was perfect. We didn't have anything else to go with it because you really didn't need anything else. It was just the perfect amount of vegetables, meat, the ratio of the gravy, like everything was really, really good.
I would almost go back and just make it a like a farmer's pie,
I
just
would rather
veggies.
have it without the meat and just vegetables.
So maybe we'll try that next time, or you try it before us and let us know how it goes. But until the next time, remember, like, subscribe, do all those fun things, and keep making memories with your family, especially around the dinner table.